What up, YouTube? How y'all doing? I know it's been a while, and I'll explain it all. I will. But this is not that video. Today, we're talking Super Bowl 58. This is the third year I'm giving my predictions, what I think could happen, and it's the third time I'm recording it at a different location. Ironic, right? So, it is a repeat of Super Bowl 54 back in 2020, where it was Chiefs Niners. Shall be interesting. It was almost going to be Chiefs Lions. It was a little less aggressiveness away from being Chiefs Lions. But as I'm recording this is February 3rd. All my numbers are up to the moment. Again, things can still change. By the time you guys see this, there will be a week till the Super Bowl. So things can change. I do promise that. These numbers and information is brought to you by DraftKings and Prize Picks. Those are the two sources I use to get this information and what is available and out there for everyone to bet on. So the last 2 years, we had Rams, Bengals, Chiefs, Eagles. So yeah. So those are our last two. Now we got the Chiefs again. So, and I went back to look at last year, and roughly some of these numbers look about the same, given. I know it's a whole different team than last year. So, last time Niners were in it, this is a whole different team. There's a few guys that are still here, but, again, we never did a video on that. But besides the fact, there's still some people here. So let's break it down. So the Niners are the road team. They're wearing white, and the Chiefs are the home team wearing red. Now, this is the same colors that were worn last time in the Super Bowl, but the white jerseys are favored, except for the fact of when the Eagles and Chiefs won it. Those are the last two times that it didn't go through. I know last year the Chiefs wore white, so who knows? I saw another stat. Teams having to travel west are 7-0. So if one team had to travel west, the other one had to travel east. The team that travels west is 7-0. And the Chiefs are traveling from Kansas City to Vegas, which is west. So all superstition numbers, all that. So we'll start out with the 49ers. So you got QB Brock Purdy. 244.5 passing, 12.5 rushing. I think he could hit 245, we're going to call it. I do think he can hit that, because I do think he will be down quite some bit. Running back, CMC, 90.5 rushing, 34.5 receiving. Also for Purdy for his rushing. As I'll say about Mahomes too, third, fourth down, they will make plays with their legs. So the over on that will do. McCaffrey, rushing, receiving, combine it, probably hit it. Wide receiver, Ayuk, Debo, Jennings. We got 62.5 for Ayuk. Debo gets 57.5 and 15.5 rushing. As we know, he does both. Jennings gets 15.5. Kittle gets 46.5. And there's two guys I have on here that I don't have stats for, but I do think could be in some type of place. So if you find them, take the over. I do think. It's the fullback, Jankowski, and another running back in Mitchell. Onto the Chiefs side, Mahomes, 262.5 and 25.5 rushing. Do I think he hits the passing? No. Do I think he hits the rushing? Yes. His over is combined. Probably looking at 290. I still take under. Pacheco, 67.5 rushing, 70.5 receiving. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 6.5 rushing, 4.5 receiving. Wide receivers, Rice, MSV, and Watson. 67.5 for Rice, 18.5 for MSV, 17.5 for Watson. And then James, which just popped up as I was reviewing everything, had 5.5. Those are your 4 wide receivers of Kansas City, and your 2 tight ends. Kelsey at 69.5, and Gray at 12.5. I know you're thinking, what we're missing some guys. No, don't even. Stay away from them, because they won't touch the ball. They probably won't see the field. They'll probably be inactive, aka Tony. If he was, I would be telling you to take the Niners, because he's going to drop the ball. So those are the numbers. I know last year was very successful for me. I did have Chiefs. I did have a bunch of this. I think I gave you guys a play, and it ended up, I think, going 3 or 4, because Devontae Smith went over on his yards. But I could be mistaken. But fairly in all, if you follow me on Pickett and anything else, what I posted mainly won. So take it with a grain of salt, as I always say. But again, last year I did favorably well, and then I went down the rest of the way for the rest of the year in betting and anything else. So yeah, passing touchdowns. Now, if you guys use Prize Picks, you'll understand what I'm about to say. They got demons and goblins. Demons are and goblins. You have to pick more. To explain it to people that don't know what they are, you have to pick more no matter what it is. If you do all demons, it's a higher payout. Goblins, a lower payout. If you mix them together, it's a mixed payout. So for Mahomes, he's got a 1.5 goblin passing touchdowns and a demon of 2.5. So, and I definitely think he'll throw 1.5. The 2.5, I think he will. If the score ends up how I want it, he'll definitely need to throw. They will score at least 3, but he'll have to throw 3 of them. Purdy, 1.5 is just normal, and 2.5 is on demon. Field goal guys, Butker and Moody both are set at 1.5. Now on Prize Picks, they do have a combo pick for them to go 48+ yard field goal made. I say take the over. One of them will make a field goal, and it will be pretty far out, and I do expect it to be made. On to the novelty picks. Routine, the coin toss, the safety, overtime, octopus, touchback, jersey number of first and last TD score, Gatorade color, and anything else that would be considered into novelty that I have. So heads or tails, where do we flip the coin? Again, it's 50-50. But is it 50-50? The last 10 Super Bowls, the tails has landed 7 the last 10. In Super Bowl 56, it landed on heads, and Cincinnati got the ball. They ended up losing. Last year was tails, and Kansas City won the toss. Sorry, not got the ball. Won the toss. They ended up winning. So, of course, you have win the team that wins the coin toss wins the game. To be honest, again, I usually split it. I don't care. About the money, I get it back either way. You bet evenly, you get it. But again, it doesn't look good in the end because you only broke even. But if I would have to call it, this is a dome, which also takes into factor here. I would say tails. And since the Niners are away, if it's tails, also depends. The Niners are away. So they call it. If they call heads and it's tails, Chiefs get the ball. If it's called tails and it's tails, Niners get the ball. So take it how you want. It's not easy to predict. I'm calling tails. Safety. No safety. They're in the 57 total Super Bowls. There's been 9 safeties. Could there be one? Yes. Do I see one happening? No. So take the no. Overtime. No. There's been one overtime game, Super Bowl 51, and that was with Brady. No overtime. Octopus. Do I think it can happen? Yes. Am I going to take it that it's going to happen? Yes. If a missed field goal is, happens, an octopus will come into play. And for people that don't know what an octopus is, it is the person that scores the touchdown, the 6, and scores a 2-point conversion to get a total of 8. Personally, I do see like McCaffrey or Kelsey, one of those guys. So I do think it could happen this year. And last year was actually the first octopus. Touchback. So they just let it go. Touchback, yes. Now, 49 of the 57 have been returned. 26 of the last 30 have been returned. So there's been 4. Those 4 were all indoors. So take touchback because it's going to be indoors. So, Gatorade color. Since 2001, 5 orange, 4 clear, 4 yellow, 3 blue, 2 purple, and 4 had none that were visual. For the Chiefs in 54, they were orange. Last year, they were purple. Could be either one of those colors. Given the fact, it also could be red or yellow. But red's not even on here, so I guess red's not even a color. So I would probably go on the Niner side, blue or yellow, if they do win. If it's the Chiefs, orange, yellow, or maybe even purple. I think it's one of those colors. I'm probably going to go orange. Just kind of feeling it for some reason. Jersey number, first and last. So it's set at 22.5. Fair number. Out of the guys I've mentioned, 8 are over 22.5 and 9 are under 22.5. So very fair lines, essentially split down the middle. Who I look to score first? CMC, he's over. Kelsey, he's over. Even Gray or Watson, they're both over. I don't see Pacheco scoring first. Unless it's they get downfield and they're in the excuse me. They're within the 5. I would take over 22.5 on the first. For the last one, it'd probably be someone that won't get the ball that much. I would go under for the last one. But again, you never know when the first or when the last one will be. So, yeah. I do have a TD scorer. CMC, Kelsey, Pacheco, and Debo. Debo or Ayuk, one of the two, however you feel. I do think one of them will get into the end zone. The other 3 definitely for sure, because CMC will either have a monster run score or just punch it up the middle for like 5. Kelsey definitely score. Mahomes will find him. He's found him all postseason long, unlike the regular season. So, I haven't really done too much into putting everything together. I've been trying to set everything up. I do have one play currently, and I am very confident in it. If you can do it, it is on PrizePicks. It will be, I'll post on my Twitter, on my Discord, so if you want to check it out, it'll be there, or my Picket. Again, same thing for everything, Trapezoid. It is the 48-yard field goal made over for the combo. PrizePicks is giving out a free square, Mahomes 1 passing yard. I've took that. CMC to score at least 1 touchdown, and Noah Gray to have 1 receiving yard. Now those 2 are both goblins, so the payout's a little lower. So, but it's still, I want to say 3x. So still a fair deal. I do think it will smack. So you want to hammer it, and you should be good. Okay, so I'm going tails, no safety, no overtime, yes octopus, yes touchback, over first, under last jersey number for score. I'm calling orange for the Gatorade score. Now, this is the also thing that I put in. So I put in a square for 7-7. I do think after the first quarter it will be 7-7, and that's how it will end the first quarter. But again, that's an anytime square. It can end anytime 7-7. I do have a final score of 1-1. Last time was 31-20. It was, I believe, it ended up being Niners had 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Mahomes had 4 rushing, and he had 3 passing, I believe, and a field goal, which essentially sealed the game for an 11-point win. I know I've kept up all week. So apparently, I believe his name is the Oz. Mecole Hardman, who is on the Chiefs now, started the season as the Jets. He predicted the Jets would beat the Niners in the Super Bowl 31-21. Now, Mecole Hardman is not on the Jets. He is a Chief. And he knew, and again, the Oz is like a mind reader. So he knew, I guess, that Mecole Hardman was going to be in the Super Bowl. So if you want to take 31-21 as your final score, or the square, like that's how it could be. So that's what I'm saying. If Mahomes is gonna, if you want to do demon for, Mahomes on 2.5 passing touchdowns, that's what I'm saying. He'll need at least that to be part of my score. Shall be interesting. Usher is the halftime. Again, Usher hasn't performed in years. Unlike last year, how it was Rihanna, a little bit more predictable. I know Usher's got some good hits. What he'll play first, I do not know. Do I think anyone comes out? There's a chance. But I think it just comes down to who I have win the Super Bowl. I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Now, I know everyone doesn't want, no one wants the Super Bowl. Listen, it's different than what it was 4 years ago. We'll see what happens after. If the Kansas City Chiefs win, we are also in a presidential election, a leap year, and let's not have a deadly disease go around and destroy for the next year and a half. Let's not do that, please. Thank you very much. So, I have the Chiefs. Mahomes is Brady. And what I have learned, I have bet, again, for Mahomes and the Chiefs to win. I had them beating the Bills. I had them beating the Ravens. I'm going to keep it going. I have them beating the Niners. Not going to say my bracket is perfect, but I did have the Chiefs essentially at least getting to the AFC, winning the AFC. Because you looked at it from the beginning. This is also from another part. I got the herd. You looked at the AFC. You go 1 seed was the Ravens. Playoff history and how Lamar has played. Now he's 2-4. You go 2 seed, the Bills. They were going to run to the Chiefs at some point. They don't have enough to beat the Chiefs. Clearly, as we've seen. 3 was the Chiefs. They took care of business, as you can clearly see. 4 was the Texans. They won a playoff game. And then they lost to Lamar. Very impressive squad. Can't say nothing, but they weren't going to make it. Browns. They could have made, maybe beat the Texans, but they weren't going to make it because they were going to run into Lamar. And then that was 6. That was 5. 6 was the Dolphins. They were all beat up, and they had to run to the Chiefs. In Arrowhead, in freezing, they weren't going to win. And then 7 was the Steelers. They were going to Buffalo. So, if you look at the AFC, it was going to come down between the Bills and Chiefs. They were both going to have to play each other at some point. However, it's going to come out. And they did. And the Chiefs went with it and ran. And that's why they are here at this point. I have the Chiefs. On the other side, it could have been a totally different story. If it was the Lions, it would have been a very fun Super Bowl. But it still would have been Chiefs. If it was the Ravens, I'd be taking the Niners. So, just morally because of their defense. But again, these defenses, I believe, are ranked at least both in top 5. So, it's just a matter of fact, if you looked at it, Baltimore's defense didn't let Mahomes score in the second half. The Chiefs' defense didn't let Lamar score either, except for the 3 points with 2 minutes left. And then they were just getting a bunch of penalties. and that almost caused them to get a field goal at the end. So I do think the defense will be key. I do expect at least over 42. I do think one team will score 30 points. But other than that, that is all I have. Again, take what I say with a grain of salt. I am no expert. I am giving you my advice. I am giving you stats that I have looked up in up-to-date moments, as I have now recorded this. So this video will be posted when you're watching this video. It is now Monday. You will have a week to decide and figure out what you want to do. But yeah, that's what I got. We'll see if I'm right again this year. I think I've come to the conclusion. So I've never gone more. Now this is just me. Don't do what I'm going to do unless you think you're confident. I'm pretty confident. I think I've made a few $25 bets over the past year. They've mainly worked out. I think I will have my largest single bet placed for this Super Bowl, and it will be on the Kansas City Chiefs to win. So I also am doing a giveaway. I know by the time you're watching this, there's a week left. Still time to enter. It's the Super Bowl Super Square, where you give me two numbers between 0 and 9 for how the final score will be. As I said, DK square 1177. That's what I said before. Numbers will lock once you send them to me and confirm that everything's right. I will no longer accept entries up 24 hours prior to the start of the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl starts Sunday at 6:30. Entries will close at 6:30 Saturday. $25 to enter. If you get the numbers right, you win the pot of how many people enter. If not, since this is Vegas, it's gambling style. All that will go to the next giveaway I'll have for baseball, but we will get to baseball at a different time. So yeah, that is it that I got. Hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl. You know who I'll be rooting for. Again, take what I say with a grain of salt, play responsibly, and have fun. I'll catch y'all on the next one.